Welcome to This Town Rocks. I'm your host, Curt Towne. And on this episode, I have my buddy Barry Rapp, the legendary Barry Rapp. He's the keyboard player and singer of my band. And not only that, he was in the Henry Paul Band, and he's done so much more. I can't wait for you to hear all his cool stories. So stay right there, because This Town Rocks.
Then people are trying to do now. We're just trying to add on to the foundation of that.
Take it away.
Strat has always had a sound within, itself. It's the root of all music that'll always be relevant.
I just love this guitar. It's just something about it that when you hear it, it just takes you to another place. It's classic, it never gets old, and it just feels good.
I take from the past just by trying to play with the same groove and feel. You end up finding your own self playing the instruments.
Hey, we're here with my buddy Barry Rapp, the legendary Barry Rapp. Thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I can't wait to hear some of those fun stories you tell me all the time. They're awesome, man. So,
all right.
Yeah, man, you got the Rolling Stones stories. You got Steve Gaines stories. You got Willie Nelson stories. You got the Volunteer Jam stories. I mean, my gosh. You're a man of many stories.
I know you can't make this stuff up.
No. Well, man, tell me some cool stuff, man.
Well, back in, I guess it was on the Some Girls tour, I think the Rolling Stones, we got a chance to open for them at Lakeland Civic with the Henry Paul Band, and we got and it was real exciting for me because the Stones were always my heroes, and I was so looking forward to, well, maybe I'll get to run into them backstage, and I was like, oh man, I was all excited and stuff, and so we got backstage, and there was a 10-foot chain link fence between the dressing rooms.
Oh my God.
Security was tight. So long story short, I didn't get to hang out with Keith, my hero. But
well, did you see him on the other side of the fence?
I think I remember catching a glimpse of Ronnie Wood, but Mick and Keith were kind of heavy security on those guys. But
man, chain link fence.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. But you got to play with the Stones. How many times did you do that?
We just opened for them that one time.
Yeah, but that's super cool, man. You've played with, I know you played with Charlie Daniels, because you told me stories about you and Taz.
Bazillion
yeah, man.
gigs with Charlie, because we had the same management company. So So yeah, Sound 70. But yeah, we did the Million Mile Reflection tour, and that was like at least 200 shows.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was cool.
That is cool, man.
I got to play Taz's white grand piano, and it was just fantastic. It was. They treated us great, and it was fantastic. Look, we had Billy Crane was in our band, in the Henry Paul Band, and his brother was in the Charlie Daniels Band, Tommy Crane. So
wow.
It was a family affair, So.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were gret times.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know you were telling me the story about you had your Hammond up there, but he let you use his.
Yeah,
because y'all basically had the same kind of setup.
It's like, man, just leave yours in the truck and just play mine. And I was like, cool.
Well, I know, man, whenever we're on the road and you bring out the Hammond, man, the guys in Skinner are like, did you bring the Hammond? Boxcar's like, Boxcar. And then you guys are back there with a soldering iron. Big set. Thank you, Boxcar.
Please work.
You're awesome, Boxcar. We appreciate you guys. But yeah, man, and you're slugging that stuff up, and inevitably we got to solder something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
the
cool.
road is hard on Hammonds. It's just there's just so many moving parts.
I know. I mean, I've got Marshall cabinets. I've left with and brand new, and come back and there's hardly anything left on it, you know. So I get it. I totally understand. But hey, that's the
road's hard on people and machinery.
That's true. That's very true. Ain't that the truth, man? But hey, we love it. So it's it's super cool. So I know with the Henry Paul band, you guys did Grey Ghost and so many things, and it's super cool. And then we've played with the Outlaws, and Henry's had you come up and play with him and sing with him, and it's always so cool when that happens.
Well, a quick story on Grey Ghost was Henry invited me down and to Tampa. I was hanging out up here in Jacksonville, and the very first night we met, we wrote Grey Ghost.
What?
Yeah. He said, I got this idea for a song called Grey Ghost. And I was like, in a tribute to Ronnie,
Right.
And I thought, wow, that's going to be good. And we knocked it right out,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. You got a jukebox at your house.
Oh, yeah.
And you have that on your jukebox. I thought that's so cool, man. I want a jukebox. And that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm real proud of that.
You should be.
That's old school.
Yeah.
I'm 45.
I love it.
Showing my age now.
Hey, man, you can't stick that in a car, can you? You can't put like, hey, what's going on with that? But no, that's awesome, man. I know you were telling me the day before yesterday, I think it was, or a couple of days ago, about Willie Nelson.
Oh, yeah. Well, my buddy was buddies with Willie, so and I was going out to Austin. He goes, yeah, we'll play golf at Willie's golf course, Pedernales. It's on the Pedernales River. And I was like, wow, that's cool. So we're playing golf, and we get done, and Willie's sitting in there in the clubhouse, and so just kind of to start a conversation, I said, Willie, we played on an album together, and he kind of like, I don't know you, boy. And I said, yeah, I got it out here in the car. And he's like, go get it. And I went out to the car and got the Volunteer Jam album, the Charlie Daniels that Willie played on and Henry Paul Band played on. I said, yeah, here it is right here. It's like, oh, yeah, cool. So he signs it for me and everything. I brought it. I got it with me.
That's super cool. That is super cool, man. Willie. Gotta love Willie, man.
Oh, man, he's the best.
He is, definitely. He is definitely.
Right.
I know you've told me so many stories. I'm like, this is a cool one. That one's a cool one. The story about, you and Steve Gaines, you guys are real close, dear friends, man.
Besties, yeah.
And tell me about some of that before you guys came to Jacksonville. And I know with the Black Les Paul, because I'm partial to Black Les Paul's customs, man. And tell me that story. I mean, it's a cool thing. I want to share it with everybody.
Well, it was I think it was in '69, or it might have been '70, but it was when the first Led Zepp record came out, and he was like, oh, I got to get that sound. I got to get that Marshall and that Les Paul to get that Jimmy Page sound.
Right.
So we lived in the Midwest. He was in Miami, Oklahoma, and I was in Joplin, Missouri, and so he's like, well, I found one down in Houston. So we just jump in his little old van, little 6-banger window van, like an old GMC green. And we ride all the way down to Houston, which is probably like at least probably a 12-hour run.
Wow.
Maybe not that far. Maybe it was a good hike.
Sure, yeah.
And sure enough, there it was up on the wall. It was Big Bill's music store in Houston, and we walked out of there with that Les Paul and a 100-watt Marshall stack.
Ooh.
And my boy was cranking from then on.
Man, wow, that is awesome. That is way awesome.
Yeah,
I know you guys played together. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you guys.
Well, he was always kind of the leader of the pack of the whole gang of musicians back home, and he actually had another keyboard player that he worked with who actually I ended up buying his B3, the one I've still got today. But he was always very encouraging. Like, come on up and jam, man. we'll do some blues. And he was super cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Just super friendly, super cool, super talented.
Without a doubt.
Super singer.
Yeah.
But what always impressed me about him was he could remember every word to every song. He just had that like a photographic mind.
Wow.
Yeah. He was just like a steel trap. You couldn't get anything past him.
Wow.
He knew every Beatles song, every Stones song, every Chuck Berry song,
Wow.
He just had them all down, man. He just was like he was an incredible cat.
Yeah. I love Tommy Bolin, the guitar player.
Right.
Tommy Bolin. Always a huge fan of Tommy Bolin's. And you told me that you remember him playing some Tommy Bolin songs.
Yeah, I think he was. Oh yeah, he played that Billy Cobham.
He played on the Billy Cobham album, Spectrum.
Spectrum, yeah.
Yeah. Tommy Bolin played on Spectrum, not
right?
Steve Gaines.
Steve had those songs though, in his repertoire.
Wow. That's so cool.
What's the main song out there? It's
forgive me, I can't remember. Stratosphere.
Yeah.
That's,
Steve had that. He note for note.
Wow.
Because I remember, I think he had a phase shifter and was getting that.
Man, that's that is super cool. Tommy Bolin, man, you never knew what he was going to play. What I meant by that is like the solo might come up and he's mellow and all of a sudden it just explodes and he's playing this melt your face riff. And sometimes he's like, just playing so hard and all of a sudden he's mellowed out and you never knew what to expect. So I always loved Tommy Bolin. But Steve Gaines, man, golly, you cannot say enough good things about his playing.
I'll tell you, I just thought of another funny story about Gaines and me. And it was like this buddy of ours was living in Colorado. And Tommy Bolin was in that band Zephyr.
Yeah.
They were originally like a Colorado, a Denver band.
Yeah.
But, I thought of a story with me and Steve and Teresa. And so we were out in Colorado. This buddy of ours had a house in Evergreen. And I remember on a day trip, we went to Red Rocks. And we were just hiking around and back then it was like you could go down on the stage and just hang out and you could see where the Beatles played there, and signed stuff on graffiti about the Beatles being there in the 60s. And so make a long story short, there was an up and coming concert with 10 years after. Of course, we all loved the album Lee from Woodstock, and then Grand Funk. And so, we were hippies. We didn't really have a lot of dough and stuff, so we figured, well, we'll just go there and maybe we can sneak in somehow, So here we are. We're like traversing these, gigantic boulders and stuff, trying to sneak in. But we got in and got down in front. It was just so magical to see Alan Lee and Mark Farner. And
that's awesome.
Great, yeah. And they're just so inspiring, Yeah. And then I later got to play there twice. I played Red Rocks twice.
Wow.
Yeah. I played there with Charlie. Yeah, we played there with Charlie, and we played there with the Allman Brothers.
Wow. Yeah. So that's right. I forgot to even ask you about the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
You played with the Allman Brothers as far as you toured with them, right?
Oh, yeah. We did a lot of dates.
Man,
they were super cool.
Wow. You got any Allman Brothers stories?
Let me think. Oh, yeah, well, Teresa's and Steve's little daughter, Karina, I think she was only like 4. And this was at the Red Rock show.
Uh-huh.
And so, we're all hanging out and getting ready to do the show. And we're like, yeah, where'd Karina go, And she's like wandering off type little kid, 4 years old. And so we're scrambling around there trying to locate her. And then next thing we know, here she comes walking up with Greg. Greg's got her by the hand. And it was just like, she just gravitated towards him,
Sure.
And because he was such a cool guy, man. That guy was the coolest. But, I played Hisby You know?
You played Greg's?
Yeah, man. He was like, just leave yours in the truck. Let's play mine. And it sounded so good. They had it all dialed in, you know.
Right.
Just like,
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's so loud.
Man, that's super cool. See, I learn new stuff all the time with you. That's so cool.
It's been what a wild, crazy trip it's been.
Yeah. That's so cool. I mean, you've played with tons of bands. You've put out lots of music. You know, people love you. I know when you first, you know, when you joined CTB,
right?
Man, people, you know, I knew that they would be excited, and you know, the Southern Rock Cruise people were super excited. Of course, you know, you're my bud. I was super excited, but everybody was just so excited to have you in there, and they love you, and you know, of course, we do too. But it's just it's so cool watching how everybody's so excited to see you and meet you. But you boy, you're like, as soon as Barry's gone, he's loaded and he's out of there, man.
Oh man, I know.
They're like, where'd Barry go? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm sure he's not here. He's out of here.
I know. I think I kind of learned that from like Charlie Daniels, actually, because I know we did all those dates together, and man, as soon as that last note hit on Devil Went Down to Georgia, Charlie gone, man. You know, like. And I think his whole philosophy was, once you're done. Your business is over in this town. You got to get to the next town.
That's true.
And
that is very true.
And we actually, we would get their hotels. They would have these fabulous hotels, and they wouldn't even sleep in the beds. And we'd be like, and they'd be like, here's my key. And so we stayed in their rooms a lot that were. And we'd leave the next day, you know, but we were kind of, I learned that from Charlie, man.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Charlie, the volunteer jam, you know, I saw you up there with Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, yeah. Stevie was on that one.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Delbert McClinton, Grinder Switch. Oh, my gosh.
So
Dobie Gray.
So Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I know,
you know,
man.
I know it was funny because Randall Hall told me a story about Stevie being up there because, you know, he jammed with him. And Randall said that Gary had told him, he said, hey, man, you know, you keep doing what you're doing, save up some dough, you can buy a new guitar or something like that. And Steve was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. But that was so cool, you know, Gary, you know, messing with him. But, yeah, I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan, I've seen the footage, and that is too cool.
I know it, man.
He's definitely one of my favorites as well. He's just an amazing guitar player, just insane, so good.
I tell you, he and Steve Gaines, in my opinion, it's just the way their hands work a guitar. It's just I saw a lot of similarities in those two cats, and they're both steeped in the blues. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I like. Clapton, he said Stevie Ray's an open channel.
Yeah. Yes. I agree.
I love that.
So that volunteer jam, you had all those, you know, people. You were up there, you know, right there with all those guys. I mean, it had to be just an incredible vibe.
It really was. It was. I'll always remember it being so cold because for years, we had it in February.
Right.
And I don't know if you've been to Nashville in February, but
I have.
The wind comes howling through them.
I have.
And so, yeah, it was, but it was good times. Seriously good times.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I know when we, you know, helped somebody and we did a special Van Zant, you know, showing, and I called him. And I wanted to make sure that everything was cool with getting this guy or that guy and this guy and that guy. And I said, hey, would it be cool to get Barry Rapp? And Johnny said, Barry, the Hammond B3 guy? And I said, yeah. And he goes, oh, man, that'd be cool, man. I called Donnie, and Donnie said, Barry with the Hammond? He said, does he still got his Hammond? Man, that would be great. And they were just raving about you. He can sing too, man. And I was like, yeah. And you were just up there, and everybody's like, Barry, you ain't saying nothing. You're like, just happy to be here.
Yeah.
It was so cool, though, man. We had a blast, and we got to raise some money and help out, for help somebody, and that was great for the St. Michael Soldiers. That was a great time. It was really cool. I mean, we put it together in a very short amount of time, but it was very cool. Matter of fact, that was the flood. That was to help out the flood. That was yes. Black Creek flood. So it was about the flood, and so we got together in just a couple of weeks. It was just such a short amount of time, but it was a blast to do that. So when we were playing with them, man, it was definitely an awesome experience,
Sure
and
was.
Having them up there, and Eric and Noah and GT. Laying down the bass.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and we were, jamming. The crowd was going nuts. And I know that Steve has some video of that. I remember him being over there shooting some video. So I'm sure he'll put some of that in here. And it would be really cool to kind of revisit that.
Mr. Barry Rapp.
How cool was that? That was an awesome night, wasn't it?
My favorite was Down South Jukin.
Oh, yeah.
With Donnie and Johnny up there. That's badass.
That was. That was awesome. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back.
That's the South, baby. That's Georgia, Florida, everybody. Y'all put your hands together like this here, huh? I can't hear them. Here we go. Make some noise.
All secure, got an icebox full of wine. He said, now hurry on, don't be late. I got 3 lovely ladies, just won't wait. But she's down south looking for a peace of mind. Now put your sunny pants on, let's get out on the road. All in a while. We got 3 fine mamas sitting all alone. Gonna sip our wine, gonna get it on, and do some down south juking, looking for a peace of mind.
Y'all make some noise, folks. Come on. Mr. Barry Rapp, come on, give it up for him.
some down south trucking, looking for peace of mind.
Y'all sing it, huh?
We'll do some down south trucking, looking for peace of mind. We'll do some down south trucking, looking for peace of mind. Woo! 1, 2, 3, down south trucking. You sing it. Down south trucking. I can't hear you. Down south trucking, looking for a peace of mind. Come on now, we can't hear you. Down south trucking. Yeah, down south trucking. Down south trucking, looking for a peace of mind. I hear you play, Gary.
And that was really awesome, wasn't it? I can't wait to get a chance to do something like that again with Johnny and Donnie. That was magical.
It was.
Wasn't that fun?
I tell you, those guys, man, they just have so much fun.
I know.
It's like they're always laughing and playing jokes and pranks, and they just crack me up. I swear, those guys have more fun than any two people I've ever.
I agree. I agree. I got to tell you this because this is hilarious, man. So, Johnny, he's mentioned it. They live next door to each other. So the funniest thing is when Johnny got Donnie a riding lawnmower for Christmas, and they shoot down that fence line like two wild dogs running back and forth trying to outdo each other, mowing the lawn. It is the funniest thing, and I'll go up there and they'll wave, like racing. I'm talking fast, man, right on down. But yeah, they're awesome. They're always having fun. It's those two guys, man. Those guys, I love those guys. They're so much fun.
They are.
What a great family. I love that family. They're such a great family.
I remember talking to Johnny, and he's like, yeah, I sold my brother my lot next door. Sold him swampland.
He did. Donnie got like 30 truckloads or 500 truckloads of dirt, man. It looked like a castle. It was awesome. But yeah, man, they did it up right. They're so cool. It's great that they can spend that time together. But man, how did you get started? How did you get started playing keyboards?
Well, it's like everybody in the neighborhood wanted to be in a band, So all my buddies got on bass and guitars and drums. All that was left was keyboards. I guess I'll play keyboards. And my old man, he was cool. He's like, "Come on, let's go down and get you one." And,
that's so cool.
Yeah, he was real supportive. And so yeah, I got a little rinky-dink keyboard, and I think I took one lesson, and then just started figuring it out.
Right.
It's just like,
but wasn't it like like you were talking?
Oh
about
yeah, it's like an accordion in a suitcase. But it was funny.
So did you play Deep Purple on it?
Right. No, but I remember I had a cool amp I bought from this guy. It was a Fender Concert with 4 10s. It was kind of like a beige color.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a nice amp, but I worked my way up through the ranks, Farfisa and Vox, and by then it was like I had to get a Hammond,
Sure.
It was like, and my buddy had one, and he was willing to sell it. I remember I gave him $2,700 for a Hammond and 2 Leslies.
Wow.
And I still got it.
Yeah.
They're just, that's been my calling card, It's just like, I played with a lot of bands that I know that the only reason they hired me is because I had a Hammond.
Well, but you play it awesome too, man. You do a great job.
I've kind of figured it out, but there's a lot of tricks to the trade,
Oh yeah.
But I've got to hang out with some of the best. I've hung out with Al Cooper, and he showed me some stuff, and of course Billy Powell. I remember going over to Billy's house, and I think I told you that story about going over to Billy's, and I was kind of bold. I wasn't bashful. I was sitting down playing Billy's piano, you know, and he's going, that's pretty good. And he's like, what's this? And he sits down and plays Lady Madonna.
Oh, my
just
gosh.
Like, gong, just hammering it, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, he was so aggressive when he played.
Yeah.
That's another story I got. So we're doing this gig in Panama City, this club right on the beach called Sharky's. And so Billy and Leon and Artemis were all there. And they got up and we were playing and stuff. And then I get up on my Hammond and one of my keys is broke. I'm like, Billy, how do you break a key? And he's like, boom, I don't know, it just happened.
I know.
So I like had to order a new key, and then I'm trying to figure out how to get it in there. And it's like, but I got it in there. But he was something else, man.
He was. Yeah, you do a good Billy impersonation.
Oh, man, everybody. I learned how to do it from Artemis. He's like, he was the best at it. He said they would pull into the hotel, right, and then they'd all, as soon as they got the room key, then they would race to their rooms so they could order room service. Like the first one to get the order in got the food first, right?
Yeah.
And he said Billy's order would be, give me the steak, chicken, spaghetti, no rabbit food. He didn't want any salad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, those guys were funny, man.
They were.
Like the Marx Brothers.
Man, that is cool. That is so cool. I love that. I love that. You know, the fishing boat, Billy's fishing boat. What was the name of that boat?
Bad Company, I think.
Was it Bad Company?
Or Mr. Breeze.
Mr. Breeze. That's what it was, Mr. Breeze. Man, Timmy Lindsay has told me a lot of stories about Mr. Breeze. I know that's cool. So how did you get started, you know, with the Henry Paul Band? You know, tell us some of that.
Well, I came to town in '74 with a kind of a blues outfit. We were doing a lot of Allman Brothers, and we were playing at Sgt. Pepper's on University in San Jose, and so you know, we were making a pretty good run at it. We were with Pat Armstrong as our agent, so he was booking us around, and so that kind of fizzled out, and some of the guys went back to the Midwest, and I'm like, I ain't going back there. I'm staying in Florida, you know. And so I was hanging out with a band called Slowpoke up in Fernandina, and so their manager, a guy named Rick Alter, who was buddies with Henry Paul, he told me, he goes, man, Henry's putting a band together down in Tampa. You need to go check it out. I think he's looking for a keyboard player. And that's when I drove down there, and like I said, and we wrote Grey Ghost. But so I was with them from 78 to 82. You know, we did a lot of cool stuff. But then I got back in Jacksonville, and I was hanging out with Randall Hall and Timmy Lindsay. We had a bunch of good bands, blues bands, and Barry Harwood. We had a good little band, and of course they all went on to bigger and better things. And but yeah, I've been in Jacksonville a long time, and it's been good. You know, I mean, always, you know, a lot of work. I always worked pretty much as much as I wanted to, you know. So,
well, I'll tell you, you were here, you know, in the thick of things. You know, the Sgt. Pepper's and the Comic Book Club, and Woodstock Park, and all those places. You know, those names get tossed around, you know, a lot. That's a good thing. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So do you remember the Allman Brothers playing around here?
No, that was a little before my time, when they were, you know, they had already, you know, relocated to Macon by then. And but I did live in Macon from '74 to '78, so I got to hang out and see that whole scene develop. And
man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a ball, man.
So what was it like being in Macon, and all of a sudden it just started really developing this Southern rock sound?
Oh,
You know,
I
man, I mean,
know.
Jacksonville is really the birthplace of Southern rock, but Capricorn Records was in Macon,
Right.
Georgia. And, you know, a lot of bands are going through there in Atlanta, you know, that this area was just booming.
I know it,
Gainesville,
man.
you know, a lot of stuff going on in Gainesville. So,
Yeah, Macon was such a cool place, man. It was really booming back in the mid-'70s.
mhm.
But everybody would hang out at this one bar, Grant's Lounge, and I was with this band, Ace Moreland, and we were kind of like the house band. And once again, I had a Hammond, so Greg would come in and play, and Dickie, and, you know, because they'd all be doing sessions, and then they'd come there to kind of unwind, you know.
Right.
And of course, Jimmy Hall and Wet Willie, and it was cool, man. It was just, you had to be there.
Yeah.
What mid-'70s? What, you're still in grade school, right?
Hey, we can't be all as cool as Barry Rapp, man. I could only hope. But that's so cool. I know you're always just blowing my mind with such cool stories. I mean, you
I know. I
lived it.
talked to Jimmy Hall about it. I'm like, yeah, man, I remember back hanging at Grant's and going to the carousel and getting that red hot chicken. And he's like, man, it's almost like I think it's kind of painful for him to go back there or something. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. He's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Wow. Wow. Well, I tell you, he did a really cool thing. He just did a thing with Blackberry Smoke at Capricorn. That was so cool, man. I got the EP. It sounds awesome with the DVD. It's fantastic.
Yeah. They're
It's really
definitely
cool.
hitting the note.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, Keep On Smiling you can't help but sing it all day long.
Oh, I know.
It's a great way to start the day, actually. You know, it's good stuff. But yeah, you've done so much, and it goes, you know, you just have such a rich history of playing. You've told me stories about you on the road with Henry Paul, and just so many different stories. I remember we were in New York, and you were reading Charlie Daniels' latest book. And I said, I'm reading that book, man.
Yeah.
And you're on it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I remember we did this show and that show. And I said, about how many shows did you do? He said, at least 100, you know.
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
We played them
wow.
all, man. Nassau Coliseum. And, just fabulous shows, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, old Blackberry Smoke. They look like Duck Dynasty.
I bet they like that. That's great, man. Duck Dynasty. How cool is that? Well, you know, they've kind of trimmed up their beards.
Yeah.
You know, they probably could do that.
No,
Absolutely.
That is a tight band.
They're great, and they're great guys.
You know, it's just like the drummer is just, there's just nothing's wasted. Just everything.
Yeah.
Every note.
Yeah, and they're so much fun to be around. I mean, those guys will keep you laughing. Britt, he'll keep you laughing, man. He's funny. He's so funny. But yeah, those guys are fantastic.
They got it going on, man.
I'm proud of them. I mean, they've stuck to their guns, and
Yeah.
they deserve every bit of success they've had. They just worked really, really hard. I'm proud of those guys.
I know we need to do some more shows with them.
I agree. You hear that? We need to do more shows with you guys. But yeah, absolutely. It's always a blast playing with them.
I know it.
They're really good, great guys, fantastic. Yeah, we we've had so many blessings. You know, we've gotten to play and tour with the Outlaws and Skinnerd and just tons of stuff, man. Marshall Tucker, and we've done so many things. Atlanta Rhythm Section. I mean, we've been blessed. We've been really blessed. I'm looking forward to, you know, doing more. It'll be great.
The coolest icon in music just got cooler.
Well, we've been friends for a long time, and a lot of people don't know how we actually started playing together. But initially, well, we've jammed and such as that, but we did the Van Zant thing,
Right.
And then ultimately, and I always had you in mind. I'm just going to go ahead and admit that now. I was like, man, Barry would be coming in here. This would be great, you know. And then it worked out to where you were able to come in and I said, hey, would you consider coming and jamming with us? And you're like, I'm there, man.
I'm there.
And I think, a matter of fact, I think the first song we ever even wrote together was Cyclone, which is the song on here. So
I know, man.
We just sat down. I came up with this riff. You added to that riff, Mike, and you threw in some lyrics, boom, bam, boom, and we were off to the races.
Yeah, man. I remember I was always just like, let's make it sound like the Stones. Let's make it sound like the Stones.
Yeah, that was great.
And then when we got Carol on there.
Wow. Yeah.
Definitely gave it that Stonesy feel.
Yeah, you guys singing that together is
rocking.
Definitely special. And she's going to do more with us. She's coming in and doing some more stuff, and want to let the cat out of the bag. But we got some special guests on the music that we're creating, and I'm real proud of the stuff we're working on. I'm real proud of it. I can't wait for everybody to hear it. So we'll be putting that out, and we've teased some of it on the road.
Oh yeah.
And the crowds have been extremely responsive. So that's always good. Getting them on their feet.
Oh yeah, man. It's like, make them like it.
Yeah. Make them like it. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, it's tough when you're a new band and people are like, oh, we don't know those songs, and they're like, well, you're gonna like it.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what though? The thing about it is we go out swinging, right? And we've been real blessed to have the house standing on their feet, when we leave. I mean, they're yelling and screaming, and I can't be more grateful. And it's been great meeting everybody on the road and getting to make new friends. So it's definitely, something I'm very proud of. I'm very proud of, you guys. We got Mike Thunderfoot on drums, Canceller. I mean, wow. What a drummer, and then GT, Greg Thompson on bass, laying down the bass lines.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just hammering it out 4-piece, and you're doing the vocals and keys. And we're out there just trying to make everybody happy, rocking and rolling. I love it.
I love the 4-piece format. It's just like lean and mean.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right?
Well, hey, man, I mean, we just keep, trying to write a better song, right?
That's right.
Trying to write a better song. Every song, just try to write a better song.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking to our guns, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it as much as we do, right?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think the main thing is just have fun, man. And if the bands have fun, I think people pick up on it real quick. I mean, it ain't rocket science. It's just like,
it's rock and roll.
It is, man. It's like almost like the simpler the better. It's just like, let's keep it to 3 chords. Like, just rock it.
Rock it out, man. Have the crowd singing it by the end of the night. I love it. It's super cool. Super cool. You know what? Here's a great opportunity to tell us a story about Flowers on the Top.
Oh.
Because I tell you, you told me that story, and when we play that song, watching the whole place light up is pretty amazing.
Let me see. So I'm playing with the Artemis Pyle Band. He's got a million stories, and one of them happened to be about, I guess, at some point, Skinner's management, old Peter Rudge, was kind of cracking on Ronnie, telling him, man, you gotta cut back on some of these expenses, and blah blah blah, just like management does. And so he told Ronnie, we need to cut these limos out. And Ronnie was like, I'm gonna ride in this limo until they put Flowers on the top. In a typical prolific Ronnie Van Zant statement, right?
Wow.
And then when Artemis told me that story, I was like, you got a pencil?
Well, you did great.
Oh man, so I thought, that's the hook, Flowers on the top, man. And so I went ahead and blocked it in, and I think it's a great story. You know?
It's a great story. It's a
Yeah.
great story. And I can't wait for everybody to hear it. You know, when we put it out, that's gonna be really cool. It's really special. So, absolutely. You know, you've played with legends after legend after legend after legend, and I call you the legendary Barry Rapp.
Oh man,
because
I'm just just trying to keep working like a working man do.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you do, man. I'm really glad you do. And it's awesome having you in the band, and it's awesome having you on the show. I appreciate it so much.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been after you to come on.
I know.
And you finally made it. You're like, all right, let's do this thing.
Like, I may be old, but at least I'm slow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, man, I tell you, I'm really excited about what we're doing and really excited about where we're going with the band and everything. So I'm just so happy we're doing it together, and the four of us are making it happen, you know?
Oh, yeah, we got it going on.
Yeah, definitely. We
got good chemistry, man.
Yeah, I think so. It's
really kind of like Bill Belichick, Patriots coach. Do your job.
Yeah.
You know, show up, do your job. And if everybody has that mentality, you win championships. You know?
That's right. That's right. That's exactly correct. Yes. I love it.
I mean, I like to show up, and I'm going to play Hammond and sing, and you're going to rock it out. And it's you know, do your job, man.
That's it. That is awesome.
Shut up and play.
Play guitar. No doubt. That's awesome. I love it. Well, man, I am very grateful for you coming in today and hanging out with me and being my guest. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, you drug me off the golf course.
Well, man, I can't wait until we get out there again. So thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Right, man.
Thank you so much.
Built for life on the road, Stockwell is Marshall's lightest and most portable speaker to date. The battery offers 25 hours of playing time, and the USB charging port means you'll never have to worry about running out of juice. Stockwell features retractable analog knobs that complement the vintage Marshall styling. A 3.5mm input, as well as the latest in Bluetooth technology, keep you connected. Stockwell can be purchased with or without the protective velvet line flip cover. The flip cover can be purchased separately if you change your mind later on down the road.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. How cool was that? The legendary Barry Rapp right here with us. It was fun, wasn't it? So if you liked it, and I know you did because I had a great time, like, share, and subscribe. Catch us here next time on This Town Rocks.
You put me out on the side street. It's a cold war on the concrete. And baby, your love is so bittersweet. It's gonna be the death of me. Roll me over like a side.
Hey, I'm Barry Rapp, and you're watching This Town Rocks.